Please welcome to the stage our hosts, the 2025 annual meeting co-chairs, Jill Abasto and Okan John.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to San Diego.
And welcome to INTA's 147th annual meeting.
Before we jump in, we want to share two important points.
Firstly, please feel free to use Wordly during this ceremony by scanning this code. This is an AI-powered tool that provides real-time translations and captions with close to 60 languages. Wordly will also be available in all educational sessions this week.
And as you can see, we have an ASL interpreter for the opening ceremonies. Please feel free to come closer if helpful.
Jill, what makes this meeting so special for you?
It's us, our community. Just here in San Diego this week, we are 10,000 IP professionals from 140 jurisdictions.
It's amazing, and that for all of us presents the biggest value proposition of the INTA annual meeting.
Among all the reasons we come together every year, we think that chief among them is to do just that, to come together.
We gather not only as professionals, but members of a global community united by a shared passion of innovation, creativity, and the protection of intellectual property.
And the opposite is also true. When we come together like this, it fuels our collective passion. It fosters innovation and creativity. We may leave exhausted,
but we leave energized,
full of ideas for how we can grow our businesses and advance our IP.
To better serve our brands and clients' brands.
And to move our industry forward.
As I have been thinking about this idea over the past few months, my mind has drawn to my hometown, a city that has profoundly shaped my perspective and commitment to the creative and intellectual life. I was born and raised in Mardin, a stunning city, thousands of years old, in the southeastern Turkey. Mardin is more than a city. It's a living tapestry woven from the threads of cultures, religions, and languages, all coexisting peacefully. Walking through Mardin's ancient streets, one is reminded that diversity isn't just a characteristic of humanity. It is the very foundation of creativity. This inspired so many in Mardin over the centuries, from scholars to artists to inventors. Take El Jazari, for example, a visionary mind from this very region who laid the early foundations of robotics. In the 12th century, El Jazari's inventive spirit drew upon the many influences surrounding him, resulting in his world-renowned Book of Knowledge of Ingenious Mechanical Devices, which continues to inspire innovators today. And in modern times, Mardin's spirit of discovery and resilience has again made its mark through Dr. Aziz Sancar, Turkey's first Nobel laureate in chemistry, who hails again from Mardin. His groundbreaking work on DNA repair has illuminated paths forward in medicine, influencing research and inspiring countless future scientists. Mardin is a place where cultures and ideas intersect, creating a fertile ground for innovation and discovery. I often think about how Mardin's cultural legacy echoes our work here at INTA. Just as my hometown has brought together different languages and ideas, our work in IP unites voices from across the world, safeguarding the creativity and ensuring that new ideas can flourish on a global scale. Protecting IP is about safeguarding the world's creative diversity and empowering all of us to contribute it.
And now you're in my neck of the woods. I'm a California native, born in LA, raised in the Bay Area, and now I live here in San Diego. I think, considering your journey from Martin to this stage today, it's quite special that we're here in San Diego, California. The Golden State is renowned for its innovation ecosystem, particularly in science and technology. The state has long been an international leader in creativity and innovation, spawning industries such as biotechnology, computer hardware and software, semiconductors, and wireless communication. Southern California is also widely considered to be the birthplace of the modern US aerospace industry. This is quite special to me. Here's me and my dad, an aerospace engineer. Between 2010 and 2022, California saw the launch of more than 1 million new businesses. California also leads in US patent filings, consistently demonstrating a high level of innovation. Over the past 8 years, local inventors have filed more than 100,000 PCTs and close to 500,000 patents. San Diego itself is considered a city of innovation. It's a leader in technology, biotechnology, and smart city solutions. Indeed, it's leading the way as a smart, sustainable, and livable city. San Diego's commitment to innovation is evident in its thriving startup ecosystem, significant venture capital investments, and numerous initiatives supporting technological and entrepreneurial growth.
I really appreciate the contrast between Martin and San Diego, the ancient and the modern.
Both are centers of innovation and creativity, leaving their mark on humanity.
And both are inspiring creativity and intellectual pursuit.
And inspiring the creation of IP and the IP profession itself. Without IP, inventors, entrepreneurs, researchers, brands, and companies could not pursue their endeavors, market their products and services, or invest in R&D and continue innovating.
And that's where we come in. We protect and advance that IP. And just as we can contrast these two amazing cities, the ancient and the modern, it's difficult not to think about how complex and technologically the world and the global marketplace have become.
And how complex and nuanced our work has become.
As all of us have experienced in our work, brands are not just about trademarks. Today, we are asked to wear more hats than ever in our firms and companies.
Today, we can't simply focus on trademarks and IP. We need a deep understanding of the business of IP.
And this is the theme for 2020 annual meeting, the business of IP. It refers to the integral role that IP plays in driving innovation and business success.
This theme is central to the meeting. It highlights how IP is not just a legal concept, but a critical component of business strategy and development.
It underscores that IP does not exist in a vacuum, but it's deeply connected almost to all facets of a business. It's both a foundation and driver of business success, protecting innovation and providing certainty for investment and strategy.
It also refers to the management of a team, a career in IP, and professional development in this field. It recognizes that today's IP professionals need to understand the broader business ecosystem and possess dynamic skills such as interpersonal communication, emotional intelligence, and marketing and financial literacy. Today's IP professional, whether we work in-house or as outside counsel, needs a knowledge base that extends far beyond trademarks.
We must take on a central role in the business of our brands and our clients' brands.
In short, understanding the business of IP is about building a holistic understanding of IP as a critical component of broader business and innovation strategies.
This is how our annual meeting project team and the INTA staff have created this gathering.
Holistically, infusing the business of IP into all aspects of the meeting.
And in this way, we call on all of you to approach this meeting through this lens.
This is not only how you will achieve your business objectives, but how you will grow as an IP professional and walk away with a more holistic and practical understanding of the business of IP.
With this in mind, we want to take a moment to extend a huge thank you to our annual meeting project team.
They've curated an educational program that is not only timely, but meticulously planned to address the evolving challenges and opportunities in the IP landscape.
Our educational program this year is designed around three dynamic tracks: business and technology, law and policy, professional development, and career advancement.
Each track is designed to deepen our understanding of key issues we face today as IP professionals and to advance and find success in our careers. In our current technology-driven era, staying on top of current business trends and innovations is crucial to understanding the business of IP. The business and technology track digs into the connection between IP, business strategies, and emerging technologies. Several sessions within this track also focus on the complexities of AI. We will learn how to leverage IP to drive innovation and competitive advantage. And we will learn how to embrace AI and the opportunities it offers, particularly when it comes to increasing efficiency in our practice.
As businesses expand their reach globally, they must navigate the complexities of different legal regimes to protect their IP effectively. The law and policy track explores the latest IP law and policy developments from across the globe, including regulatory changes and compliance strategies that impact our work. By attending sessions in this track, we will get up to speed on regulatory and legislative changes in key jurisdictions. We will gain knowledge that's crucial for shaping IP strategies and adapting to new legal requirements.
Lastly, sessions in the professional development and career advancement track are designed to enhance our dynamic and non-legal skills and support our personal and professional growth, not only as IP professionals, but as business professionals working in IP. This is an opportunity to invest in our careers with sessions focused on enhancing our skills and advancing our professional journeys in the IP field.
The education program also includes two new series. An in-house practitioner series is designed for legal professionals navigating the complexities of in-house trademark practice.
And the patent series is curated for IP professionals ready to dive into the world of patent practice, covering the latest patent developments, strategies, and case studies to enhance our understanding and application of patent law.
Our end goal for all of us to leave San Diego with a more holistic understanding of the business of IP and many practical takeaways that we'll be able to apply to our work. Indeed, we are quite fortunate that INTA has a clear vision of the future of IP.
This is embodied in the educational program.
Business development is also a key component of the business of IP. This year's meeting features a full slate of excursions where we can connect on an informal basis, as well as a record number of table topics, receptions, speed networking sessions. We will have a block party-themed grand finale in San Diego's beautiful and vibrant Gaslamp Quarter.
The business connections and friendships formed at these activities will prove to be invaluable to your career development and industry knowledge over time.
These are not only opportunities to expand our networks and client bases, they are opportunities to benchmark and learn from colleagues, peers, thought leaders from around the world.
These are not only opportunities to broaden our grasp of IP regimes in different jurisdictions globally, but also to discover how IP professionals in other parts of the world and in different industries approach our work, overcome obstacles, and create opportunities in different ways.
The variety of activities are designed to help us achieve our business goals by catering to all networking styles and preferences.
For registrants who believe the strongest bonds are formed through meaningful shared experiences, there are several excursions that highlight the culture, history, cuisine, and natural beauty of the city of San Diego. These excursions are designed to appeal to a variety of interests.
History buffs will take home many fun facts from their private tour of the USS Midway.
Adventure seekers will find thrills kayaking through the caves of La Jolla Shores.
And foodies can master a local recipe in San Diego cooking class, all while connecting with members of the global IP community.
This year's meeting features more than 500 table topics, from anti-counterfeiting and enforcement to AI and emerging technologies. They cover many of the critical challenges and opportunities facing IP professionals today.
For those who do not have much time in your schedules, speed networking is an opportunity to make many quick connections in a short time. An estimated 467 connections were made through speed networking at the 2024 annual meeting. With 10 speed networking sessions taking place during the course of this week, we can beat that.
This year, we can once again try our hand at pickleball and lawn games at the Game On Sports Arena. These games are opportunities to get active, connect with fans or fellow athletes from around the world, and build friendships while having some fun.
For those of us who enjoys a slower pace, the BD Lounge is a perfect place to gather between meetings and educational sessions. Here you will find seating, light conversations, tabletop games to create a quiet reprieve from the busy annual meeting.
Everyone is encouraged to visit the Innovation Marketplace. Open through Wednesday, May 21st, this is where you'll find the latest innovations, services, and vendors from around the world.
Whether this is your first or 20th annual meeting, there is no better place to start networking and engage with the global IP community. We have 188 exhibitors from 39 jurisdictions, and 54 exhibitors are participating for the first time.
And as usual, the meeting will culminate with the grand finale on Wednesday evening. This year, we'll gather a stone's throw from the conference center for a block party-themed grand finale in San Diego's beautiful and vibrant Gaslamp Quarter.
May I get sentimental for a moment, Jill?
Of course.
I want to remind everyone, networking isn't just about building professional connections. It's about fostering a sense of community, creating values, and cultivating a shared purpose. It turns strangers into acquaintances and acquaintances into friends, creating a support system that enhances both personal and professional lives.
You're absolutely right. And this is such a warm and welcoming community. Please, we encourage everyone, put yourself out there and enjoy this amazing opportunity to grow your network. We have one final aspect of the annual meeting we want to share with you.
And this is an important one.
This is about how we can all contribute to creating a more sustainable annual meeting and use this as an opportunity to give back.
In this regard, there is also opportunities to learn and take those learnings to our office, to our companies and firms, to our clients and brands.
And just as our project team have taken a holistic approach to the business of IP, our association approaches this goal holistically, taking into consideration the host city and conference center sustainability programs and records.
By incorporating educational programming covering CSR and ESG.
And by providing all registrants with opportunities to make sustainable choices throughout your trip and meeting.
Indeed, the meeting features several activities, educational sessions, and initiatives that align with the goal of working toward a sustainable and inclusive annual meeting. We aim to create opportunities for registrants to give back and play a role in creating a better society through brands.
One of the easiest ways to contribute is through the carbon offset program, through which we can all reduce or even fully offset the carbon produced through our travel. Donations to the program support projects designed to provide cleaner air, land, and water, and help counteract the harmful carbon put into the atmosphere. You can donate anytime by visiting the INTA website. If you want to give back, donate to the INT Foundation, a charitable organization working to expand educational and professional development opportunities in IP for diverse, underrepresented populations around the world. Donations will be collected this evening at the welcome reception immediately following the opening ceremonies.
Another way some of us are giving back this week is by volunteering to help small business owners and entrepreneurs facing trademark issues. The Pro Bono Committee has teamed up with San Diego Volunteer Lawyers Program to host a Pro Bono walk-in clinic tomorrow afternoon.
The educational program features several educational sessions focused on advancing the conversation around CSR. CSR is essential for fostering sustainable business practices, enhancing brand value, promoting social equity, and driving economic growth. And as IP professionals, we can play a central role in developing and implementing effective CSR strategies that benefit our organization, our brands, our communities, and society at large.
We hope many of you were able to attend today's session, Green Claims and Brand Value, from Talk to Trust. This session explored the challenges brands face and the best practice they can implement to turn sustainability commitments into genuine consumer trust and tangible results.
And please join Tuesday's session, Shattering Systemic Barriers, How to Advance Gender Equality in the IP Profession. Panelists will present key findings from INTA's recently published gender representation study and share their perspectives on how gender affects the experience of trademark practitioners in the workplace.
Also, on Tuesday, we have a session titled Celebrating Women in the African IP Sector, Progress and the Path Forward. Panelists will examine the progress that has been made by women in Africa's IP sector, the challenges they encounter, and the opportunities available to further advance their contributions.
We've mentioned how San Diego is recognized nationally for its sustainability and resilience. The same goes for this convention center. It is at the forefront of the city's commitment to sustainability. Green approaches are embedded in all areas of operations with a focus on energy resiliency, sustainable sourcing, food waste reduction, and plastic reduction.
Finally, we want to mention INTA's 2025 Open Innovation Challenge, a competition designed to rapidly propel startup and scale-up business by offering professional guidance through expert judges and resource access. This competition provides a unique opportunity for startups and scale-ups to pitch and promote their business ideas, technology innovations, or research application to a set of experts, and to gain invaluable insights from the experts on their business plans and concepts.
The finals took place earlier today. This year's competition attracted a record 36 applicants from 13 jurisdictions in 3 categories. We now have the pleasure of announcing the winners. In the early stage startup category, our winner is Kelly Shea from Innovation Station.
And in mid-stage startup category, our winner is Amin Abudiak from Jesur Labs. Please.
And in the scale-up category, our winner is Adam Watson from Miko Diagnostics. We have some of our winners with us this afternoon. If they could please stand, we can give you one final round of applause. A huge thank you to the project team and INTA staff for working with us over months to put together this incredible program.
And many thanks to all of you for registering and participating in the meeting.
We have 3 final tips on how you can enhance your meeting experience.
First, please download the INTA event mobile app right now. It's a game changer. And for those who get CLE credits, you will need the app to check into the CLE sessions. Yes, I think it's very important.
Second, please enjoy this amazing city. It offers a vibrant culinary scene, oceans and mountains, art, culture and history, a wide range of entertainment, an optimistic spirit, relaxed atmosphere, and famously pleasant climate.
And finally, open yourself to this idea of the business of IP. As we are about to learn, it's our future.
Enjoy the annual meeting.
And enjoy your time in San Diego. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please put your hands together for INTA President Elisabeth Stewart Bradley.
Greetings and the warmest welcome to each of you. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with you, my INTA family. You are among INTA's greatest supporters and champions, and I thank you for your support and passion for our incredible association. Johann Goethe said, "We must always change, renew, rejuvenate ourselves, otherwise we harden." We are living in complex, even turbulent times, which can be overwhelming. It is very reassuring and inspiring that we can come together, connect, feel the positive energy from events like this, and look forward to the future with optimism. INTA and IP professionals are facing significant challenges, including a rapidly evolving legal and business landscape, complex geopolitics, budgetary pressures, and anti-IP sentiment. But we are resilient, and there are also significant opportunities, dramatically advancing technology, rapid and meaningful innovation, and an increasingly connected global marketplace. Given these dynamics, the idea that change, renewal, and rejuvenation are necessary for survival clearly continues to hold true over 200 years since Goethe wrote those earlier words. This certainly applies to INTA and to our community. We must evolve to survive. And we don't simply want to survive, we want to thrive. Before I go further, let me say this. INTA, our community, and our profession are, in fact, thriving. And that is because we are intentional about change. We're not only reacting to change, we're proactive and intentional about how we change. And that's why we thrive. Today, I want to celebrate how this organization has always been evolving, growing, and innovating, and will continue to do so, both in response to a changing world and as a way to drive change in the world. At the same time, we have also always been true to our founding principles and our commitment to advocating for strong trademarks and related IP, as well as protecting consumers. Today, I also want to share some insight into the way that we are driving change in our industry in 2025, and make the case that through our collective efforts, commitment to the mission of INTA, and our willingness to embrace change, we will continue to advance and thrive as an association and as a community well into the future. Coach John Wooden was a legendary basketball coach in this great state of California. He said winning records, still unbroken today, brought communities together and was known for his pyramid of success, a roadmap for individual and team excellence that resonates far beyond the sports arena. As Coach Wooden said, failure is not fatal, but failure to change might be. This quote really resonates with me because failure itself should not be feared, especially in the intellectual property field, where innovation is the core and lifeblood of a thriving ecosystem. Fail forward, fail quickly, take risks, be bold. Failure to change, though, is entirely different. In other words, we must keep changing. So please join me as we take a look at some of INTA's milestones from the past 147 years. I'm sharing these achievements to showcase why this association is thriving, because of how we have evolved in 3 ways. By expanding our geographic scope, by expanding our substantive scope, and by expanding the view of what membership and leadership could and should be. Our association was founded by a group of 17 merchants and manufacturers in New York in 1878. We were known then as the United States Trademark Association, or USTA. Our first task was to advocate for the U.S. Trademark Act of 1881, after the U.S. Supreme Court declared the Trademark Act of 1870 unconstitutional. Within just a few years, we were already working internationally. In 1900, we won the Grand Prix at the Paris Exposition Universelle for our collection of journals and periodicals. In 1908, the USTA became a business corporation under New York state law. This gave the association broad powers to act for the protection of trademarks, both in the United States and in foreign countries, and to encourage the making of treaties and international agreements with relations to trademarks. In the same year, Ecuador asked the association to propose a trademark law for them. This became the model for other South American trademark laws. In 1947, the association filed our first amicus brief in a case dealing with interpretation of the Lanham Act, which was passed earlier that year. we took a major step towards globalization in 1979 when we hosted a program outside of North America for the first time in London. In 1980, the USTA was accredited by WIPO and the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, gaining the right to attend WIPO meetings and represent its membership in all trademark matters before WIPO. In the same year, the organization created our first long-range plan. It envisioned a more active leadership role for the association in the trademark community and proposed to broaden the perception and understanding of trademarks in business, government, and the media. Almost since our founding, we have been reaching IP professionals and consumers globally. So in 1993, after 115 years of being known as the USTA, we officially became the International Trademark Association, or INTA. In addition to geographic expansion, we also began appreciating the need to expand our scope beyond trademarks. The explosion of the internet in the mid-1990s led to a new form of trademark piracy, cybersquatting. In 1999, INTA's president testified before the US Congress, the House Subcommittee on Courts and Intellectual Property. She emphasized that domain names often function as trademarks, and that trademarks deserve the same protection in cyberspace received in other media. Congress was influenced by this point of view and passed a bill that included safeguards against the bad faith registration of domain names. In 2003, we took another major step towards globalization when we opened our first regional office in Shanghai to help the association expand advocacy efforts and add members in China. Also in 2003, INTA's annual meeting was held in Europe for the first time, in Amsterdam. 1 year later, INTA and ACIPI held their first joint conference in Buenos Aires, Argentina. That year, INTA also established a Geographical Indications Committee and Trade Dress Committee. In 2006, we opened our Europe representative office in Brussels to be close to our members in Europe and to the EU institutions. In 2013, we held our first conference in the Middle East, which brought together IP professionals and government officials in Dubai from the region and countries around the world. 1 year later, INTA and thousands of IP professionals gathered in Hong Kong for our first annual meeting in Asia. At the start of the 2016-17 committee term, INTA created the Copyright Committee and Designs Committee, elevating the association's voice and influence on important copyright and design policy issues globally. Notably, when INTA drafted the 2018 to 2021 strategic plan, it included embrace, innovation, and change as one of only 3 strategic directions. In 2023, we published a comprehensive, future-forward white paper looking at IP in space. And most recently, we launched our Trade Secrets Committee in 2024. These are just a few key examples of how we've expanded both our geographic and substantive scope. There are countless more. INTA has also been a very forward-thinking, inclusive association in many ways, and often far ahead of the curve. The legal profession was, like many professions, male-dominated for many decades. As society evolved, we saw progress in terms of female legal professionals, but as we know, even today there is still much to do. For many years, INTA has been known to have incredibly talented female members and leaders in numbers that outpace most of the legal industry. The association has an excellent track record in this regard. For example, since 2000, 14 of 25 presidents have been women. 19 of 31 board members are women currently. And 4 of the 6 board officers are women. Yes. In terms of the INTA staff, 10 of 19 senior managers are women. In 2020, we launched the Women's Leadership Initiative, which champions the development of strong leadership skills for all women in the IP field to empower them to advance their careers to the next level. All of this willingness to change and to be bold has enabled INTA to be more influential on a global stage, to impact and influence the IP and legal industry, and arguably society itself, and to better serve our members around the world. We've evolved intentionally, and we're thriving. I want us to continue to thrive, both as an organization and community, and on an individual level, in our day-to-day jobs and in our careers. How do we do this? Through embracing change and transformation. As Jill and Okan described, our profession is evolving. It's very rare to have a trademark-only practice these days. We're now working with complex, diversified IP portfolios, as well as adjacent areas of the law, such as marketing and advertising claims, regulatory issues, and matters relating to privacy and compliance, for example. Our scope has become so much broader, it's fair to say that we are, in fact, IP professionals. And as our legal scope is expanding to include other areas of IP and law, and our roles evolve, we now also need other non-legal skills to succeed, as Jill and Okan have just noted. For outside counsel, it's also worth noting that in-house teams are not looking only for subject matter expertise, but also expertise about the industry in which their brands operate and the competitive landscape. For example, consumer products and pharmaceutical companies expect their outside counsel to understand and advise on numerous different agency regulations that impact those industries. Thus, in many cases, both outside counsel and in-house teams must become versed in the broader ecosystem rather than specialists. Our other partners, such as brand protection companies and branding and financial valuation experts, must also have a broad understanding of the complex environment that companies are now navigating. In short, the changes in the business and legal landscapes affect all of us. This is why one of my main goals this year is to continue to evolve the IP practice to keep up with the rapidly evolving times. There's a lot of pressure on in-house members to demonstrate value and show what they're adding to their companies and practices. Many companies are expecting their employees to do more with less. This, of course, impacts our external counsel and partners too. I want to help all our members be comfortable with their expanding responsibilities and in the ever-changing, high-pressure environment that we now operate. At the end of last year, I convened a presidential task force titled Change and Transformation, exploring the evolution of in-house teams, the impact on external partners, and future opportunities for INTA. They're assessing how the roles of in-house teams have changed in the past several years, evaluating how these changes affect external partners, and they're identifying innovative ways that INTA can support its members through this change. The goal is to distill all these learnings into forward-thinking and actionable initiatives that INTA can implement to assist its members in this ever-evolving landscape. I'm incredibly excited to see what they come up with and to help implement their recommendations. INTA is uniquely positioned to help our members in these ways to navigate today's challenges and to thrive into the future. This is because our members and staff possess tremendous expertise and passion and consist of the best and brightest minds in the global IP field. It's also because INTA is a member-driven organization and thus understands the needs and priorities of our membership. And it is because INTA is a community that cares deeply about supporting our members and seeing them thrive. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Everyone can be great because everyone can serve." It gives me great pleasure to serve in INTA. I began my legal career as a paralegal in Virginia in the early 1990s. My first attorney role was in New York City in the late 90s. At the time, the legal field was very hierarchical. There was not especially a culture of support and nurturing. It was somewhat survival of the fittest. I see people nodding. There were not many women in leadership roles at the time. The work environment and law firm culture were very demanding and very high stress. I began volunteering with INTA in 2004. I quickly realized and came to truly appreciate how at INTA I could be myself. There was an extremely supportive culture, one of collaboration and collegiality. This positive environment allowed me to focus on doing my best work, getting great experience, and devoting my energy to productive matters that help make an impact. In addition, feeling that I could help shape both IP law and policy and support INTA's mission was very inspiring. and motivated me to get even more involved with INTA and committee work, which I also found deeply rewarding. I joined the famous and well-known Marks Committee, became a vice chair of a subcommittee, and from there I started getting more and more involved. My first real leadership opportunity was on the Presidential Task Force on Brands and Innovation. Seeing the tremendous intellect and passion of the task force members was so inspiring. It renewed my sense that I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to be involved in shaping the priorities and future of the organization. After 15 years of gaining experience with INTA and contributing to committee and project work and serving on the board of directors, I was asked to serve as an officer. My years of volunteering with INTA now allowed me to appreciate what that meant. And what a privilege and honor this is. I have been so thrilled to serve the association that has done so much for me and for this community. Clearly, my journey in INTA has had a huge impact on my career. I can truly say my career would not be the same without it, both in terms of effectiveness as an IP professional and career trajectory, but also in terms of happiness and fulfillment. Through INTA, I have had countless opportunities to meaningfully contribute to the advancement of IP in the profession. And of course, I am part of this amazing supportive community where I have made lifelong friends around the world. In short, thanks to INTA, I've thrived in my career. And together with fellow members and staff, I am passionate about ensuring that what makes our association so special continues well into the future. I want everyone to have the same positive experience that I've had and to feel the same fulfillment from your service with INTA. Before I turn the floor over to Etienne to talk more about our future, I would like to leave you with a closing thought. I have advocated the idea that to thrive, including on a personal level, we should embrace change and transformation. But how do we approach this? Imagine a tightrope walker gracefully balancing on a thin wire. To succeed, she must remain focused on each step she takes, fully present in the moment. Yet she must also keep her eyes on the end of the rope, envisioning reaching the ultimate goal. This is similar to how we can approach life, living in the moment while also looking to the future. It's a delicate balance. We live in a fast-paced world with demanding jobs and pressure on us at every step. It's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily tasks, responsibilities, anxieties, and always thinking of what we need to do next. Yet there is immense power in embracing the present moment. Living in the moment allows us to fully experience life as it unfolds, to savor the small joys and beauty of this world, and to connect deeply with those around us. However, living in the moment does not mean we should neglect our future. On the contrary, it's essential to have a clear, bold vision and to set goals that drive us toward our aspirations. Projecting ourselves into the future gives us direction and purpose. Embracing change and transformation is also a delicate balance. It's about looking to the future, adapting and learning new ways of doing things, and doing so intentionally. But we must also deal with the tasks directly in front of us at work and in all aspects of our multifaceted lives. So live in the moment and look to the future. To this end, let us savor every moment we have together this week, knowing that each interaction and each new experience brings us closer to our goals. Every interaction is an opportunity to make a difference, to make a connection, to strengthen our great and special association, while looking to our future and ensuring it remains strong, even in today's challenging times. That, I would say, is the epitome of thriving through transformation. Thank you, and may you have a successful and joyful annual meeting ahead.
Please welcome to the stage INTA CEO, Etienne Sanz de Acedo.
Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. Welcome to San Diego. Welcome to our 147th annual meeting. We celebrated our annual meeting in 2005, in 2015, in 2025, it seems there is a love story between INTA and San Diego. So who knows? Let me start by thanking our platinum sponsors, AIP, Amazon, Brand Shield. I also would like to particularly thank the annual meeting project team led by Jill and Okan. I also would like to thank all speakers, our panelists, including our keynote speaker, Louise Felton. And of course, I would like to recognize all INTA staff, because without them, it would be absolutely impossible to put together this meeting, this show today. Elisabeth mentioned before many women leaders within INTA. I would like to thank Elisabeth for her friendship, for her support, for her leadership, and for her inspiration to all of us, not just today, but through all her career at INTA. Thank you. And of course, I want to thank you all. More than 10,000 registrants from 140 plus countries. We have more than 1,000 corporate representatives and approximately 160 government officials from all around the world. So good reasons to celebrate. Thank you. Now, last year, here on stage, I shared with you INTA's journey through the pandemic. I emphasized at that time that the association continues having a strong foundation and a bright future. Well, a year later, it seems that there are a little more clouds. So let's talk a little about those clouds. Let's look at the world today, at what it means for intellectual property, and more importantly, at how are we going to respond to that as an association, as a community. So let me take you briefly through that journey. Multilateralism, the concept of cooperation, compromise, coordination between member states around the world is somehow fading. Just in 2023, there were more than 30 bilateral one-to-one member states agreements versus only 5 global agreements. And more importantly, today, we're facing major conflicts, tensions, wars in Ukraine, in Gaza, in Sudan, and more recently, in Kashmir. Now, in addition to that, technology is absolutely changing our lives. AI, and you can see the diagrams behind me, is absolutely changing the job market, particularly impacting on recent graduates. It's also changing the way companies are behaving and embracing technology. And we're already seeing that AI is increasingly outperforming humans on several tasks. Now, in addition to that, fundamental values are under threat. Peace, freedom, democracy, multilateralism, justice, sustainability, equity, and prosperity. So somehow, as a consequence of all that, consumer confidence is in sharp decline. It has been declining for 5 consecutive months, and it's reaching its lowest level since the pandemic. And in parallel to that, we see that global economic growth is under threat. Since January 1st, we've seen global markets behaving as roller coasters, and that is impacting on company values, on company budgets, but it's also impacting the savings of individuals. So how is all that also impacting our industry? How is that really reflecting on us as an IP ecosystem? Well, first and foremost, technology is already impacting intellectual property. You just need to go to the exhibition floor, to the innovation marketplace. It's all about AI. Let me give you just two figures. AI patents granted in 2010 were just 3,800 globally. In 2023, there were more than 122,000 AI patents. In addition to that, national pride is growing. We're seeing a significant surge in patriotism that is somehow influencing consumer preferences. This percentage, that is really scary, is just from a few months ago. More importantly, IP rights are being questioned. Many of you saw that. What is really striking about that is that it received more than 12 million views and a widespread media coverage. Now, let me make a pause here and really thank those IP leaders within our community who stood up to defend and promote IP under such circumstances. And we really need to recognize those. Thank you to them. Another consequence that we're noticing is that there is the potential risk for IP rights to be weaponized. Trade wars are not anymore just about physical goods and services. IP rights could definitely become a powerful weapon. All this might seem a little pessimistic, but no, there are still good reasons for optimism, and that's the most important one. And it's the fact that business remains the most valued institution. And when we talk about business, we talk about brands, because brands encompass such trust. And at the same time I'm mentioning that, we should remind how critical IP rights are to our major economies. Reports by the US Department of Commerce and by the EU IP Observatory identified the contribution of IPR-intensive industries, and I'm referring to trademarks, designs, patents, and copyrights, and their contribution on GDP, on employment, and on social welfare. So, with all this said, how should we react? How should we position ourselves as an organization and as a community? You've probably noticed that the sky is getting blue again, and there is a good reason for that. Why? Because we're a very solid organization and because we're well prepared. And let me tell you why. First, let's remember who we are. We're a global association of IP professionals who care about brands, IP, and consumers. But we're also a very forward-thinking organization that projects itself into the future. And last but not least, we're a global community, a big family that is open, tolerant, respectful, welcoming, and diverse. Just yesterday, we had the Rising Stars reception, and I approached different groups of people, and I had the chance to meet two young ladies. One was from Africa. The other one was from India. They had never met before. They were recognized as rising stars at INTA. They met at that reception. They started a relationship that will be a friendship and a bond that will last for life, as it has happened to many of us here at INTA. Now, on top of reminding who we are, we absolutely need to stick to our values. And here you have an example of such values: belonging and inclusion, CSR, pro bono, and thinking and supporting the next generation. And last but not least, let's never forget that we are, as an organization, a citizen of the world. And that means that we have a strong foundation, and at the same time, we also have, and we're very fortunate to have, a roadmap that is guiding us. That roadmap is our strategic plan 2026-2029. I would like to take a moment to thank many people who have been working to put together this strategic plan. I should certainly start with Elisabeth Stewart Bradley, with Dana Northcott, and with many more presidents and members of the planning committee at INTA who have been working and brainstorming as to what should be the future for our association. After more than 2 years of brainstorming, conversations with members, non-members, IP community, non-IP community, younger generation, elder generation, we came together with a new mission statement for our association. INTA is a global association of brand owners and IP professionals committed to elevating the understanding of and respect for IP rights, to foster consumer trust, economic growth, and societal transformation. This mission statement translates into 3 main strategic directions. And those 3 strategic directions are intended to help us remain influential as we advance and protect intellectual property, as we support our members, and as we make a positive impact on the IP community. So let me perhaps deep dive in each of those strategic directions. As you can see, the first one is about championing the value of intellectual property in support of brands and consumers. Yes, of course, we're an international trademark association. Yes, of course, we started with trademarks. But a few years ago, we started a journey and we moved into brands. Well, perhaps today it's time to take a further step, which is looking at intellectual property in a more holistic way. We cannot just look at trademarks or designs or copyrights or trade secrets or even patents. We need to start looking at them all together. And we really need to think and behave the same way businesses are thinking and behaving. So our first strategic direction is really a call on INTA to advocate for harmonization, simplification, accessibility, and integrity of IP protection. But it's also a call to defend and enforce IP rights. It's a call to promote and reinforce the economic impact of intellectual property. And it's also a call to embrace transformation and change. Now, strategic direction number 2 is about driving the advancement of members and of the association. INTA would be absolutely nothing without you. We're a member-driven organization. We're a committee-driven organization. And it's absolutely incredible to see the commitment, the dedication, the passion that you all put into INTA. We can only thank you for that. Now, strategic direction number 2 is a call on us to guide and empower members as the business and legal environment transforms. It's also a call to transform that member experience. And more importantly, we're all together starting to build the INTA of the future. And finally, strategic direction number 3 is about the concept of being a responsible global corporate citizen. And that means really serving our IP community, upholding principles of belonging and inclusion, promoting ESG and sustainability, and communicating the value of intellectual property at large to the general public and particularly to the businesses. So once we've looked into our new mission statement, once we've presented our new strategic plan, now we really need to start working, which basically means we will be producing an implementation plan of the new strategic plan that will be informing the work of the new committees. And that also means that somehow we're going to be evolving a little our committee structure so that we're really adapted to those new times. And since I'm talking about the future, it's probably time to kind of look ahead and look at what's going to happen very soon. First of all, we're thrilled to announce the opening of our Middle East and North Africa rep office that will be hosted in Dubai, starting as of September, October of this year. I know this is the part that everybody is waiting for, so I'm going to get into that. Second, of course, is our trademark administrators and practitioners meeting that will be in Berlin, September 28th to the 30th. It's a great opportunity to reconnect with our EU members, our EU friends, but also authorities and officials in Europe at large. Leadership meeting, as you all know, will be in Hollywood, Florida. It will be November 18th to the 21st, and registration opens on July 9th. And I should be announcing, I beg your pardon, I perhaps should be confirming what social media have been much quicker than us in announcing. I wish you will all be there. I look forward to seeing you in London next year. And before that, I wish you a great annual meeting. Enjoy San Diego. Thank you so much.
Please give a warm welcome to Keynote Speaker, Vice President of Marketing at Qualcomm Technologies, Louise Felton.
Hey, Jill. Louise.
Great to see you here.
Yep, great to have you here. I'm so excited to be able to have this conversation with you, with all of these folks.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it myself. It's going to be hard to follow that London announcement, though.
I know.
We're just very excited about that. They're planning their travel.
That is exciting, I'm not going to lie. Well, I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you. We have lots of conversations because I lead the trademark team and you lead up the brand team. And so we've had lots of opportunities to work together over the years. And you've really brought a different approach to marketing at Qualcomm that has been exciting for my team and your team to really work together. So I'm looking forward to this conversation. I want to let everyone else get to know you a little bit the way that I know you. And I know you've had a distinguished career as a brand and marketing expert across diverse industries, including technology, financial services, entertainment, and healthcare. And you've held senior marketing leadership roles at several global brands. I'd like for you to share a little bit about what attracts you to this work and what you love about it.
Sure. Well, I started my career at advertising agencies, so think Mad Men, but not that old. It was a really fun time to be in the business. It was before the plethora of social media, so television was really king, and advertising was an exciting place to be. It was kind of glamorous, so coming out of college, I thought that would be a great way to bend my brain both strategically and creatively, and I loved it. I had the opportunity a couple years into that experience to go work in Washington, D.C. on a loaned executive program, which was a pretty heady experience for a 20-something. I didn't know much about Washington, D.C. or how government operated other than my government classes in school, and I'd never lived outside of California. So I went back to DC, and I was essentially a legislative analyst. I was working for the American Association of Advertising Agencies, and I was writing testimony for my boss to deliver in front of Congress on many issues that fundamentally boiled down to First Amendment rights and the ability to speak truthfully in advertising around products that might not be seen as beneficial to society, but were certainly legal. Alcohol, certain foods, that was when all of the foods with the palm oil and coconut oil and things like that were getting a lot of heat. And so there was pressure to limit the ability to actually market those products. So we were in front of Congress and the FTC and the FCC, and I learned a lot about marketing and advertising and the intersection with law. And as a result, I've been kind of a student of that ever since and really interested in that part of the business and why it's so critically important, because it's not just about marketing products, it's really about protecting rights. I ultimately went client-side because I was really interested in getting further upstream in the strategic process. So not just getting handed a brief by a company to develop a great campaign, but to really influence the business strategy and where the marketing could influence the business results. So digging into the data and insights and doing the competitive analysis that would help those businesses achieve greater momentum in the market. So that's how I came to Qualcomm. And just quickly, my responsibilities at Qualcomm spanned everything from brand to creative, campaigns, digital marketing, and strategy partnerships. I call it all of the really fun stuff of marketing.
I think this background helps explain why your team and my team have been able to be so collaborative and sort of set aside some of the traditional thoughts of the tension between legal and marketing, as opposed to what we've been able to establish, which is a huge collaboration. But some of your background working in government area, I think helped create that environment. With your work for in brands for several decades, how would you define brand 20 years ago, and what's your definition of brand today?
Yeah, I actually don't think that the definition of brand has changed that much. It's really the totality, sum total of the experiences that people have with your product or with your company. That could be first-person experiences, or it could be things that they've heard through their friends and other people who they trust. But what has really changed is brand building. So it's gone from a place where companies and their agencies really owned the narrative, and it was a one-way communication out to their audiences, and it was pretty controlled. Now, brand is democratized. It's really a shared property with our audiences. Participation from people, whether it's on their social channels or in other places where they can help to shape the story, talk about your brand, influence the people that are in their circles, that's really powerful, and it gives you the ability to activate those third-party voices. There's a lot of credibility in that. But it also changes the game, because for a company, you really have to lean into those audiences and keep them close, educate them, keep them on your side, run crisis management when they're not. So there's a lot that's changed about brand building, and to your point earlier, it's really critical that we stay very close to our legal partners so that we can make sure that what we're doing and how we're activating our brand and how we're engaging our consumers is all really a positive momentum for our brand in the market.
That really resonates with me for a lot of reasons, but I want to go for a second to what some people probably think of as more Qualcomm than brand, and that is Qualcomm's historically focused on patents and continues to be a top patent filer in California today and really around the world. Can you elaborate on Qualcomm's strategic shift, emphasizing the value of its brands over the past few years?
Yeah, actually this comes up as some of the things that Elisabeth said and Etienne said as well, and the power and the importance of brand as IP, as leverageable IP in the marketplace to really help accelerate growth. So the IP portfolio that we have at Qualcomm is a 40-year legacy of innovation, and we are never going to let that go. We are going to continue to lead the innovation that drives transformation across industries. But we also have to think about how innovation cycles have it's fundamentally accelerated. There is so much more competition. There's so many more global market pressures. So being able to maintain that objective differential between our technology and our capabilities and that of others starts to get more narrowed. So what becomes the difference is the brand. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, in the last 4 years that I've been at Qualcomm, it's been very, very valuable for us as we've gone on this journey of elevating brand and making brand a bigger part of the strategic conversation, to have our CEO as a real champion. He recognized the importance of this. And as we were thinking about how to pivot our brand marketing for Snapdragon, which is our consumer brand, it's the processor inside 4 billion smartphones and laptops and XR and VR devices and cars, as we were thinking about making this shift from talking about what I call feeds and speeds-based marketing, so the features and functionalities that we bring to the table, to more experience-based messages, why people should care about Snapdragon, what we bring to the table, what makes their life better, what makes their experiences better. He was a real champion and endorser of that work.
In terms of the Snapdragon brand and Snapdragon's efforts to strengthen its brand presence in the market, are there specific initiatives or campaigns that stand out to you as particularly effective? And what was it about those particular activities that has been so successful?
Yeah, I would probably mention 2 things that have been a real change to our marketing mix and how we've developed the Snapdragon brand over time. One of them is brand partnerships. So Snapdragon and Qualcomm have historically done sponsorships, which is paid logo placement, as you all know. And we wanted to change the definition and enter into partnerships with other premium brands and leverage their IP and their audiences to drive our brand equity and our goals. That has been an enormous endeavor and a real re-education within the organization, because it's a value exchange. They're long-range partnerships. They're multifaceted. They're very complex. Your team has been absolutely instrumental in facilitating this change. So that would be one, the brand partnerships. The other one would be the launch of our fan community, Snapdragon Insiders. So this was a pretty audacious goal 4 years ago, to create a community of people who loved our technology, who could be that third-party voice for us, advocates, people who were just very, very passionate, not only about what our technology enabled for them, but connecting with other people who were equally passionate. So we launched that community 4 years ago. It's a global community now of 18.5 million and counting, and I think it's surprised us, actually, in its veracity and vibrancy. So we really reward these insiders by giving them sneak peeks to our technology. We bring them in, give them opportunities to ask our executives anything, really understand the technology, but also we give them those opportunities that money can't buy. Like, we will send them off to experience Manchester United as an example, or Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1, where we have partnerships where they can go and experience something and then become that microphone and megaphone that tells more people about it.
I will say that it was fun for the lawyers to hear our marketing team say, we want to let anyone ask our CEO anything.
Right.
And we were like, yes, let's do that.
That's right. And it actually, it was a risk. It was a risk, but it has been measured risk along the way, which I think is another thing that, with your team's help and advocacy, we've figured out what are the things that are measured risk and what can we do, that will help to continue to evolve our journey. I actually have a video that showcases some of the things that we've been doing. I'd love to play it for you.
We on fire, baby.
Okay, maybe it's not really a dragon, but it's definitely breathing some fire. Because Snapdragon was created to ignite the world's most moving experiences. And now we're dialing it up even more. With groundbreaking new products and some of the most incredible user experiences imaginable. Transforming how you use technology every day. We've sparked cutting-edge collaborations with some of the biggest names in tech, including the latest revolutionary developments in automotive.
We on fire, baby. We on fire, baby.
That's Snapdragon at top speed. This is total multi-sensory engagement. This is face-melting, mind-bending intelligence and game-changing capabilities designed to take you where you've never been. Do stuff you've never done.
Turn it up.
Feel it like you've never felt it before. So we're bringing all these feels, all this oomph, to billions of fans worldwide, to the stages where the gaming elite compete, to the pinnacle of global motorsports, to the most storied football club in history, to the millions of Snapdragon insiders, to everyone who just wants to go out and conquer their worlds. Welcome to Snapdragon Now. This is a brand on fire.
We on fire, baby. We on fire, baby. Turn it up.
So, thanks. We have been having a lot of fun.
We have been having a lot of fun, and the Snapdragon on speed resonates with me particularly because I feel like that is the speed at which my team has to be able to react to the speed at which your team moves.
Yes.
Always fun. How would you describe the synergy between our teams, between marketing and IP legal, and how do you think it's evolved over time?
So I only know the last 4 years, so
Fair.
I've heard tell about the prior years, but I have to say in my time there's been such a tight and close collaboration. The teams are really seamless. We do so much work together, naming lots and lots of naming ad infinitum, claims and message testing that we do, and to make sure that we've got really rock solid claims globally. But it's the brand partnerships, I think, that have been most innovative, where we've really had to lean in and learn together and collaborate to make sure that as we're evaluating these opportunities to make some really significant investments. I mean, we invested with Manchester United, and we now have our logo on the front of their kits. And that's not a logo placement in our mind. That is really about an investment in engaging with their 1 billion fans globally. So it's not just about that positioning on the jersey, it's about all of the other ways that we are leveraging their IP, their players, their team, their legacy, to introduce ourselves to a really large audience that's passionate about sports, where our technology can come in and make a really big difference in how they experience those sports. Structuring that kind of deal is extraordinarily complex. So for us, it's really critical to have your team involved from the get-go. And we start with the question of what are the business objectives, not what is it that we're trying to achieve. And I have to give so many kudos to your team, because it really, you guys are always trying to get to the yes. And I know when there's a hard line drawn that it really is after we've explored everything, and you feel that there's a business risk if we do something that's, and then you try to reframe it. Well, what about? So it's always about delivering options and helping us get to where we need to go.
I love hearing that, that it's working both ways, for sure.
So can I flip the table and ask you a few questions?
Let's do it.
Okay, so from your perspective, sitting in the seat that you do, how do you enable your team to find that balance between legal and creativity and all of these net new places that we're exploring?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say a couple of thoughts come to mind when you ask me that. And the first is my team really has to remember that we don't drive, like the legal strategy doesn't drive the business strategy, it's the other way around. So we always remember business strategy comes first, and then we need to match our legal guidance to that strategy. And as part of that is we really do strive to not say no. We do say, how much is it worth to you? Because I can do a lot if you have the money. Or you want to pay the cost, not necessarily money. But I'm thinking back to maybe my early days at Qualcomm. I remember being in a room with one of the senior executives at the time. There was something that I felt was risky, and I was trying to say no. And when that happens, it gets elevated to the senior executives. And this executive turned to me and he said, "You lawyers always say no." And I said, "No, I don't. I say yes to 100 things a day, but my yeses don't reach you. Only my no's reach you. You only see me when I say no." Mm-hmm. And it was that moment where I realized our team needed to act differently. We needed to be in the room all the time. We needed the execs to hear all the yeses. We needed every step along the way for it to be understood that we are actually collaborative, we're not the enemy. And to do that, we had to be there more. So we found ways for our team to insert ourselves from the beginning in all the places. And initially, I think marketing was like, why are the lawyers here? And now they turn to us all the time. Well, our lawyer's here. So understanding that we're your advocates.
Yeah, I have to say now we say, why aren't the lawyers here?
Where are the lawyers? Right.
We need that
right.
part of the team in order to actually advance in all of these conversations that we're having. Because to your point, we are moving so quickly and new opportunities are arising all the time. Once we've stepped our toe into this area of brand partnerships, for example, there are opportunities coming to us now. People are approaching us, and so we have to evaluate those, and it takes a very, very synchronized approach.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Do you think that there are other conflict areas you mentioned, all of the yeses you don't get credit for, and, are there other areas of conflict that this group would benefit from knowing about, or how we approach marketing and legal participation and partnership that would be beneficial for people to understand?
Yeah, so, we know marketing's looking to create compelling and attractive advertisement stories, bold statements that attract attention. We hear that a lot from our marketing teams. We like this word because it is bold, because it does attract attention, and we're like, we need you to soften it a little. And so I think there's that tension constantly. For us, sometimes it's just about reminding marketing what our job is, what our role is. We're there to minimize risk, not eliminate. That's not possible, but to minimize, which requires us to understand the business objectives, but we also need our marketing teams to understand the legal risks. So engaging in trainings and helping marketing see our side of the story and what we're up against, what the laws actually say, why are we saying yes or no to something. So really strive to help marketing team understand the why, the reason behind. We aren't mean people most of the time.
I'll just jump in on that because I think that actually the tension is good. The tension honestly often gets us to a better outcome when we are pushing with each other, but it has to be built on a relationship of trust and mutual respect. And I think that is what is really powerful about our partnership of our teams across both legal and marketing in the wide-ranging number of things that we do, is that there is an appreciation for and a respect for the point of view that you bring to the table, because that going in point of view is what can we do to help you achieve what you're trying to achieve to drive the business forward. So you come with a bias towards how can we say yes.
Absolutely, and I will say it's a testament, I think, to the partnership that we've been able to establish, that when the lawyer comes to you and says, hey, do you want to speak to a room of 1,000 of us? That you weren't like, what? No.
Right, and I said, that sounds like fun.
Right, I bet.
So with the ever-changing landscape of marketing tools and capabilities, what do you think are some of the things that are on the horizon that are going to be really challenging for us?
It's interesting because I'm thinking back to like maybe one of my first annual meetings. I was at, I want to say, one of the in-house counsel workshops, and they had up on the stage speaking to the group, it was a team with their lawyer and their marketer, and they were talking about how they do clearance, and their standard was like, we get a new name, and that takes 3 weeks for a knockout search and 3 months for a full search, and I was taken aback because that would never work at Qualcomm. In part, that's because the technology moves fast. And so we work at that speed. So my team was like delivering on knockouts within 24 hours and full searches at most are a day. But I think that prepared me for today's environment because I think everyone's starting to move that fast. Because in the age of social media, like you don't have time to spend like that. And so I think that this sort of technology environment has prepared us. Now we're looking at tools through AI that'll help both of us. Our teams have been collaborating on a tool we're working on inside Qualcomm, where we've trained up our own AI tool on our brand guidelines and on our trademark guidelines. So it's helping our marketers when they're drafting to know kind of what we might say, from the beginning. You're missing a TM. Hey, have you considered that you need a descriptive term here? Things like that are really helping us move faster. And I think that because our teams are so well connected, what we've heard is that our marketing team was probably the earliest adopter of AI tools internally, because our legal team knew what their objectives were and knew how to train them fast and is so connected with them that they got the yes the fastest, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And the AI tools are really helping us to be both more efficient and spend our people resource hours on the right things.
Yeah.
Right. So that has been very, very important. And our CMO is, incredible advocate of adopting these tools more and more. So more to come on that front.
More to come. I also think that our outside counsels had to grow and develop with us, right? Like our legal needs have changed as my team has matured and developed, has sort of able to move in different directions and take on more things and get some efficiencies in some places. And we've watched our outside counsel really grow and develop along with us like every step of the way. That partnership for us is as important to supporting marketing as the relationship between the two of us.
Yeah, just as we lean out to agencies for those specialized expertise, I know that you're leaning out when there is external counsel that can bring a perspective or a depth of experience that's going to be additive. And what I love is for us on the marketing side, it's really seamless. You guys know who to reach out to and how to then interpret all of that information and bring it back to us in a way that that is really cognizant of our business objectives and that we can action on. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for being here today to share some of your insights. I love that we get to share some of our synergies and the way we've made this work here with this group. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Jill, on behalf of us all, thank you to you and Louise for that inspiring conversation. Thank you.
And a huge thank you to Elisabeth and Etienne for sharing with us the INTA's vision for the future of our association and community.
Before all we head over the welcome reception, we want to remind everyone about the INTA Foundation.
This is a charitable organization with a clear and meaningful mission to provide educational opportunities for students from underserved areas who aspire to build careers in IP.
This week, we are working toward a goal of 1,000 donations to help fund these life-changing grants. You can contribute at one of our 2 booth photos during the welcome reception and throughout the week on the lower level outside the hospitality.
And as a thank you, anyone who donates $50 or more will receive a Foundation LED pin and exclusive access to our photo booth experience.
Together, let's open the doors for the next generation of the IP leaders.
With that said, thank you for joining us this evening.
Please enjoy the welcome reception and the week ahead.